Hello traders, Mark Chapman here. I'm the creator of the trademarked Trap Traders concept. Welcome to this week's look ahead at what to expect from the news calendar for the week commencing the 25th of January 2016. Starting off with the ECB President Draghi speaking on Monday. I doubt he'll change his tone from last week, so it might be just a reinforcement of the fact that the ECB will be looking to ease monetary policy in March. Definitely try and pick the bones out of anything that he says, however, so that this could add weight to any short euro positions that you might be considering. Next up, we've got the Bank of England's Mark Carney speaking on Tuesday morning. Again, he only spoke last week, and the chances are he's not going to say anything much different, but always go through what they do say so that you get a good sense of how to play that currency in the coming days and weeks. Last week, Carney explained that he has no timetable to raise interest rates in the UK, with some analysts suggesting that this won't come until mid-2017, with the very real risk that the UK could leave the EU this year. In the much anticipated referendum, the pound looks weak going forward, so it'll be worthwhile understanding what Mark Carney has to say just to give you some indicators about how to play that currency should you get any opportunities. Looking ahead to Wednesday, we've got Australian CPI, which is expected to be a little worse than previous. Commodity-based currencies experienced quite a turnaround last week, so if this number does come in slightly worse, it might give us a chance to get on some of those pullbacks. Keep an eye out for the US crude oil inventories and of course the FOMC interest rate decision, which isn't expected to be changed. However, make sure you read what the statement says so that you can get a sense about the timing of further rate hikes. Later into the evening, we've got the official cash rate for New Zealand. Again, this is expected to be unchanged, but make sure you read the statement so you can get a good handle on what the central bank's doing and thinking relative to interest rates going forward. Once that's out the way, we've got New Zealand's trade balance, and then we look forward to Thursday with preliminary GDP quarter on quarter out of the UK, which is supposed to be slightly better than previous, with unemployment claims following up the rear, but that's not expected to be much of a change, followed by core durable goods orders out of the US and unemployment claims. And finally on Friday, we've got the Bank of Japan's monetary policy statement with the outlook report and a press conference for the BOJ. Again, make sure you go through this information so you get a solid understanding of what to do in that pair going forward. We've got CPI out of Europe later Friday morning, and then into the afternoon we've got Canadian GDP month on month and advanced GDP quarter on quarter out of the US. There's also a lot of fourth quarter earnings for big corporations out of America being published this week, so keep an eye out for that, because any of these turnaround moves that we saw the back end of last week are going to need support from the stock market to follow through. And as always, keep an eye on the stock market and bond markets to make smart decisions in currencies. We've got some fantastic trade setups that could yield hundreds of pips primed and ready in my live trade room. If you would like to join me in my live trade room to get analysis on all the pairs I'm trading and all the traps I'm considering this week, I'd love to see you there. Just click the button below to join me for my live trade room. Have a great day and I'll see you there.